Hello, y'all. I am so sorry I'm so late. Give me just like 2 seconds and I will pull it up. Okay? I'm gonna pull it up. You'll have to bear with me. I just got off work, y'all. what you do. I didn't do anything. Give me just 1 second and I'll pull it up. People are saying 15. I hope not.
This season, a team that's been here before. They'll face as the 11th seed Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, 21st NCAA tournament appearance. Last time they won a tournament game, 2007, so certainly they'll be upset-minded when they face Louisville. Moving on to your 2-15 matchup in the Regional 2 in Albany, and your 2-seeded UCLA Bruins. Highest seed in program history.
And this region is simply a murderer's row, but UCLA has all of the pieces to win a national championship. Yep. Lauren Betts is a huge key for them on both ends of the floor, but certainly experience, depth, shooting, and an inside game.
Their first round matchup will be the Cal Baptist Lancers. It's their first NCAA tournament appearance. Congratulations. Welcome to the dance, ladies. Put your dancing shoes on.
They're jumping shoes on right now.
They certainly are. Congratulations. What a matchup for you. What a moment. As we continue on down the Regional 2 bracket in Albany with your 7-10 matchup, it will be number 7, Creighton. Their 10th NCAA tournament appearance. They were a 6th seed in last year's tournament, losing in the round of 64 to Mississippi State. And they'll be facing in the first round your 10-seeded UNLV Rebels. 3rd straight NCAA tournament appearance for the Rebels, seeking their first win in the tournament since 1991.
Lindsay LaRocque's got something going on in the desert.
Something's happening in the desert. And there it is. You take a full look now at the bracket for Regional 2 in Albany, and you kind of hinted at it already, Rebecca. Murderer's row in this bracket. What are you sort of looking at the most
I mean, the strength of the top 4 teams in this bracket is incredible, especially if you're looking at it from Iowa's point of view. UCLA is your 2 seed, certainly a national championship contender. LSU as your 3, the reigning national champion, the team that beat you in the national championship game. And then K-State, again, if all seeds hold. K-State and Iowa have already played twice this year. They split in terms of Iowa lost at home and then Iowa beat them on a neutral court. So this region, we haven't seen the last 2 regions yet, but holy cow, this region's tough.
LSU maybe a little disappointed as a 3. Remember, they were a 3 last year too, and they took it all the way home.
All right. Any more thoughts on this bracket?
Well, listen, I had UCLA and LSU in my Final Four. So when you talk about these 2 teams being in the same region, this is definitely going to be a tough battle.
I don't want to hear nothing them folks have to say. I don't want to hear nothing about what they're saying, why they're saying, whatever they're saying. I don't want to hear it. Sorry about that, y'all. Look, I'm late. I apologize. Okay. Oh God. Where do you see Jackson? I see Norfolk. Norfolk's in the middle, y'all. Gonzaga. What's going on? Portland coming up. Okay. All right, y'all. All right, let me make that. Okay, so did you guys just see Cal Baptist? Here, let me show you guys. Somebody said hold your taters. Listen, I thought California Baptist. So California Baptist was a 13 seed. Have you seen their strength of schedule? Let me pull it up for you guys. If California Baptist made it a 13 seed, we definitely should be a 13 seed. We had a better net ranking than California Baptist. I'm just saying. Let me see. I'm going to pull it up for you guys. Get some commentary in here. I apologize about being late. But I'm actually right on time, right? We'll get to see Norfolk soon. All right, so this has been updated as of today. Let's see where we're at, because they look like they're totally wrong about everything, right? So this particular bracket is all the way wrong, right? Because California Baptist and Gonzaga and Rice are not in this Portland. You see where it says Portland 3? That's the next two brackets, right? But they have LSU actually up here in Albany. But I pray to God that they do not have us ranked at a 16 seed, right? That would be terrible. It would be absolutely asinine, right? Let me see. Okay, it's still on commercial. And let me tell you the reasons why. Let's look at the final NCAA women's net rankings. Let's look at the final, okay? Look at Jackson State. They have us as a final net ranking at 100. And Rice is underneath Jackson State, and they were going against, didn't they have them going against LSU? Damn, please don't have us going against South Carolina. Well, no, please have us going against South Carolina. I can go to that game. Look, you see that? They have Jackson State ranked at 100. And anybody who's also watching the tournament challenge, let me know when it comes back on, because I'm looking at the net rankings. And we're going off of these net rankings, and I'm showing you the different seeds that are under Jackson State that have higher than a 16 seed. So Jackson State, their final ranking is at 100, right? Rice is at 102. We just saw Rice. California Baptist is at 120. Norfolk State is at 122. So Jackson State was, when we look at the net rankings, Jackson State had a higher net ranking than both California Baptist and Rice. And we see that Rice and, here we go. Sorry.
1 seed is the USC Trojans, their first time as a 1 seed since 1986.
What a testament to the job Lindsey Gottlieb has done there, and to the star quality of Juju Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
This is a complete team.
Here, y'all get
Juju
your wine
Watkins
and y'all
is the next star in women's college basketball.
She's even said they're maybe a little ahead of schedule from where they thought that they would be, but certainly so exciting. 12-1 since February 1st. That's the second best win percentage by a major conference team since then. South Carolina 13-0. They'll face Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, who's making their very first NCAA tournament appearance. Let's go.
They're in Texas. They got shorts on.
No, they don't have a playing game.
Shout out to the Islanders. They'd be looking for Southland's first NCAA
Thank you,
tournament win
JB.
since Stephen F. Austin upset Xavier back in 2000. Now for your 8-9 matchup in Regional 3 in Portland. And your 8 seed is Kansas.
9 seed.
9-2 in their last 11 games, so a hot streak as they enter the NCAA tournament. They're facing your 9-seeded Michigan Wolverines, making their 12th tournament appearance. They lost in the second round last year, but made it to the Elite Eight back in 2022. We move right along to your 4-13 matchup in Regional 3 in Portland. Number 4, Virginia Tech. Second straight year as a 4 seed or higher. They were a 1 seed last year. There were certainly some questions, Charlie, about whether they would be impacted with their seeding with the questionable availability for Liz Kitley, who was injured in the regular season, the last game of it. But it did not seem to impact them as of now. We'll get into that more in just a second. They'll be facing 13-seeded Marshall, making their second NCAA tournament appearance for Sunbelt title. 26 wins this season, a program record. Congratulations, lady.
Let me tell you, that's a game you want to see because Marshall, they set 5 at a time. They are not afraid to shoot the 3, and they're going to press you for 40 minutes.
And they took 99 shots in the Sun Belt.
I love it. Shoot your shot, right? Okay, we move on to your 5-12 matchup in the Regional 3 in Portland. That's the Baylor Bears. They were a 7 seed in last year's tournament. 3-time national champs, of course, under Kim Mulkey, and won 6 of their last 7 games. So certainly coming in hot themselves. They'll face, as the 12 seed, Vanderbilt or Columbia. Vanderbilt, 22 wins this season. The program's most since 2011. And Columbia making their first NCAA tournament appearance, one of 2 Ivy League teams to make the tournament this season. Congratulations. They'll be one of the first 4.
That might be the spiciest play-in game so far.
You think so?
Yeah. If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
And Columbia, Texas A&M right now are tied for best reaction.
Right. I like that you're keeping track of that, please, for our reaction
one
meter.
seeds as far as reaction.
We move on in the Regional 3 in Portland for your 3-14 matchup and your third seed, the UConn Huskies. 31st time being a 3 seed or higher. We remember, of course, our Elite 8 streak was stopped last year, but what do you make of UConn being a 3 seed?
It's tournament time, and Paige Beckers, look, you don't care what number you put in front of UConn, she is going to be ready to play. When you look at the way she was a terror through the Big East tournament, whoo!
Woo is right, says Jackson State, who will be facing UConn, although Jackson State coming in with a 21-game win streak. That's also tied for the 4th longest active win streak. They will be dancing.
And bring the trophy to the party.
Bring the ticket. Bring everything you got. They got all the props. We continue on with your 6-11 matchup in Regional 3 in Portland. And your number 6 seed is the Syracuse Orange. Second straight 20-win season. And, of course, they've got Deja Fair, who you love.
Yeah, and this is the thing. When you talk about this is, again, skipping. Syracuse has to get through somebody. UConn has to get through Jackson State. But when I think about Nika Mule, 2-time biggest defensive player of the year, going up against Deja Fair, one of the best buckets in the game, that one's exciting for me.
An interesting note, those 2 teams met in a closed-door scrimmage before the season started, so those teams have seen one another.
Those dang closed-door scrimmages.
Open those doors!
As for who they'll play, they don't exactly know yet. It will either be the Auburn Tigers or the Arizona Wildcats, who will be in the first 4 game. Auburn, first 20-win season since 2018-19. Arizona, 7 seed in last year's tournament. They lost to 2-seeded Maryland in the round of 32. They will back out.
Exactly.
They like a defensive matchup.
Game in the 50s.
That is your I love the prediction. That's your 6-11 matchup. We move on to the 2-15 matchup in Regional 3 in Portland. The 2-seeded Ohio State Buckeyes.
JT Sheldon, Cody McMahon, they bring that full court pressure.
They do. Outright Big Ten regular season champs for the first time since 2017-18. I can't tell if they're thrilled or not. I hope so, ladies.
No, they got a little chip on their shoulder. We know what happened. They got a little chip on their shoulder. They're on come ready.
They will play number 15 seeded Maine Black Bears. 10th NCAA tournament appearance. Last time they won a tournament game back in 1999. They'll see if they can pull the upset over Ohio State. That your 2-15 matchup. We move on in the Regional 3 in Portland. Your 7-10 matchup. Number 7 seeded Duke. They were a 3 seed in last year's tournament.
They're doing hard better.
Took the words right out of my
They'll
mouth.
face the 10-seeded Richmond Spiders. First conference tournament championship since 1991. They won the Atlantic 10. And you see the reaction there. They got the trophy, too. I love the trophy flex. just a reminder of why we're here. That your 7-10 matchup. Let's take a look at the full bracket for Regional 3 in Portland. Just want to get your sort of treetops reaction as you take a look at the field here.
Well, out of the 3 that we've seen so far, this is officially the certified bucket region. Think about the buckets that are in this region. Juju Watkins, bucket. Paige Beckers for UConn, bucket. Georgia Amor for Virginia Tech, bucket. Deasia Fair for Syracuse, bucket. Those are all players that could pop off 30 points, 40 points. This is the bucket
But you got
region.
buckets. You got defensive teams. Kansas. You've got Auburn, Arizona, Duke. Ohio State.
So I want to see if they can stop the bucket getters that I just named.
And I got a really quick potential Sweet 16 rematch. UConn, Ohio State. Ohio State just dismantled UConn with their pressure last year. UConn has Paige Beckers along with 2 other point guards on the floor this season if they match up.
All right, Charlie is like, stop filibustering. He had one question. Who was going to be that final 1 seed? And we will reveal that after the break. God, I love getting my Ryan Seacrest on. Again, some of the best reactions so far as we have one more bracket to reveal. Regional 4 in Portland's on the way. Who will be that final 1 seed? We will reveal that. We'll break things down. We'll talk to the selection committee and Don Staley. All that's still ahead. Stick around.
All right. Good Lord. They don't even have a straight. Oh, they do have a straight flight. I looked up the flight. It was like $700 for a $700 to go to a nonstop flight. All right, let's talk about this. Somebody let me know when it gets back on so we can see Norfolk. Now, when I was looking at the thing, we're going to go back to this, even though we know what it is, we know what we are, right? So when I was looking at this little bracket, right, and it just guessed, where we were going to be at, right? And on here, it had right here at the bottom, you see where it had UConn and had Rice up here. And we were talking about, okay, do you want to play LSU? Do you want to play Gonzaga? I wanted to play Gonzaga, right? And I said yesterday, I was like, I would rather play as a 15 seed to play LSU if we're going to play a team than to be a 14 seed and play UConn. That's what I was talking about yesterday, right? I would have preferred to play LSU, Gonzaga. Don't put us at 14. I don't want to play UConn. I literally said that yesterday, right? And so I would have preferred to. But Coach Tamika Reed is up for the challenge. Let me see when the first game is. Once again, Jackson State is a 14 seed, right? So this is the second time since being able to go. That is the second time that we've been ranked as a 14 seed. So it says the regional weekend will begin Friday, March 29th and run through Monday, April 1st. So make sure that's not back on because I'm not even looking at the screen, y'all. I'm literally watching. What happened? I'm literally watching. I'm not watching the screen. So is it back on? Let me make sure. I hope I didn't miss. Uh-oh, here it is right here. So number 1 seed. Lord, are they gonna
Get it. Freshman. That's what you do when you're the first freshman to win Big 12 Player of the Year, Co-Player of the Year with Skylar Van. Congratulations, you are the 1 seed Texas. Just keep it going. They'll be facing the Drexel Dragons as the 16th seed in the first round. They'll be looking for their first NCAA tournament win. So congratulations to Texas. You are, in fact, that final 1 seed in Regional 4 in Portland. Your 8-9 matchup. Number 8, Alabama Crimson Tide. 13th NCAA tournament appearance, made 3 of the last 4. 23 wins is the program's most since the 1997-98 season. Congratulations to Bama. You'll be dancing with number 9, Florida State. 7th seed in last year's tournament. They lost to Georgia in the round of 65. That your 8-9 matchup as we continue through the Regional 4 in Portland. Number 4, Gonzaga, the highest seed by a West Coast team in tournament history. 4 players, first team all West Coast.
And they're getting to host. So despite losing in the WCC championship game to Portland, Gonzaga still gets to play first and second round games in Spokane.
I played out there in Washington during my time at Tennessee. We took an L to Maryland. That place gets loud. Those fans go crazy. That is going to be a really tough place to play.
This is an interesting angle.
The loss.
Yeah, I lost. My heart, now I'm hot.
And they'll be playing a team making their first tournament appearance since 1995, number 13, UC Irvine. There's a reaction. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
I need some Anteaters swag, I think.
They are riding a 6-game win streak, won all 6 of them by double digits. So they've been beating up on teams, and they dance now with Gonzaga in the first round. As for your 5-12 matchup in Regional 4 in Portland, number 5, Utah Utes, making their 3rd straight tournament appearance. And they'll be facing 12-seeded South Dakota State, one of 2 Division I teams to have a 20-plus game win streak in each of the last 2 seasons.
We have a potential really interesting second round matchup if Utah advances to face Gonzaga. These are 2 teams that take a lot of threes, play really fast. They combine to make 20 threes per game.
Congratulations to your 5-12 matchup. We move on to our 3-14 matchup. Number 3, NC State, a 3-seed or higher for the 4th time in the last 5 years. Tons of defense there, and they'll be facing, there we go. We see, there's the gritty. Finally, ladies, y'all got the assignment. Let's go.
So Nia Rivers took Madison Booker's dance challenge and said, okay,
I raise you.
I raise you one.
That's right.
Oh, to have those 19-year-old knees again. And they'll be facing 14-seeded Chattanooga, a 16-seed in last year's tournament, seeking their first tournament win since 2004. Congratulations to the Southern champion Chattanooga Mocs. That your 3-14 matchup. We move on to the 6-11 matchup. Number 6, Lady Vols, Tennessee. 41 previous tournament appearance, 39-2 in their first game.
Yeah, and this is a Tennessee team that has shown incredible promise, especially when they play South Carolina. That is the type of performance and energy they have to carry into the tournament against every opponent, not just the Gamecocks.
Don't give them your bad
You
luck
hear
from
me,
Portland.
Tennessee. I know you hear me.
And they'll be facing the Horizon champion, number 11 seeded Green Bay Phoenix. There's the, it's a little, okay, it's a tiny bit pixelated. We see you standing, ladies. We see that you're excited, and we can hear you more than we can see you. Congratulations, that 6-11 matchup. As for your 2-15 matchup, we saw the reaction there. They weren't a 1 seed, but Stanford a 2 seed in Regional 4 in Portland.
This should be
100 tournament wins, the 3rd most all time behind only UConn and Tennessee. There we go.
Oh, yeah. But
Okay.
I think the coach going to have their team motivated.
Correct.
Tar Vanderveer is going to have the Cardinal ready.
And they'll be facing the MEAC champion at 15, Norfolk State Spartan Nets, riding a 15-game win streak. That's tied for the 7th longest active win streak in D1 right now. There you go. Get the camera. Look at yourself on the camera.
One guard at Norfolk State is Diamond Johnson. Played at Rutgers.
Yeah.
Played at NC State in the NCAA tournament. Now she's with the Spartans.
As for your 7-10 matchup in Regional 4 in Portland, 7-seeded Iowa State. They won 6 of their last 7 games, lost to Texas in the Big 12 tournament title game. You see the reaction. Oh, they brought the cute factor with the kids, too. And they'll be facing the Maryland Terrapins, who won 18 straight games in the first round, have not lost in the first round since 2001. See the reaction there from the Terps. Congratulations to your 7-10 matchup. And again, we take a full look at Regional 4 in Portland, the bracket. Charlie, again, I know you were most intrigued by what was going to happen here. Your takeaway.
Well, Texas gets the number 1 seed. I think it's a case of what have you done for me lately?
Shipping the
Texas wins the Big 12 tournament. Stanford does not win the championship in the tournament in the Pac-12. USC captures that. I think that had to have been the difference maker with Texas getting that 1 seed. Another team I'm intrigued by, and we already touched on them a little bit, is Tennessee. The way they're playing now, the way they played South Carolina, watch out for the Lady Vols.
You've got some teams in this bracket who can really score. We've already talked about Gonzaga and Utah being 2 of them. But to me, Texas is the team that you have to fear here just because of the way they can take you out of everything you want to do with their intensity on the defensive end of the floor. We've seen that from Vic Straight.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your services. Thank you for your services, right? Thank them for their services, right? Woo. Listen, they trying to ship. They know how deep HBCU fans are. When how do you get I don't even know, how do you get tickets? Like, what do you do? I'm all over. I'm like, where is this place at? So let's look up Storrs, Connecticut. Let's do that first, because that's, how do you get there? What is it? So basically for the regional, you have to, you have to fly in to a airport. Bradley International Airport is the closest airport to the University of Connecticut, and it's like 40 minutes away, right? Yeah, we played St. John's this year. So the women's tournament is going to be not this weekend, but I want to say next weekend is when it starts. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. For the regional games. So the start date is next Wednesday. That's for when the first 4 begin. Oh, it does say. It says the first set of first round games will begin Friday, March 22nd. The regional weekend will begin Friday, March 29th and run through Monday, April 1st, either in Albany, New York, or Portland, or Oregon. Oh, okay. So let me share this information. So actually it's next weekend, right? You can fly into Hartford. There you go to Storrs. How far is Hartford from Storrs? East Coast to West Coast for Norfolk. Some of this stuff is strategic. You guys know that, right? They're taking the HBCUs out of their element. I'm sorry. I feel like, and it's not, you know what? I'm not even going to say that it's just HBCUs, right? Because I think LSU is going all the way somewhere else. Like, it's weird how they scrambled them up. Weird, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at these particular setups. I think that, yeah. So the first 4 will be Wednesday, March 20th through Thursday, March 21st. Congratulations to both Norfolk State and Jackson State. We do not have to play any type of playing game. Okay, Hartford tickets are cheaper. The round of 64 will begin next Friday. Guess who's not supposed to have Braxton next Friday? I'm going to take off. Okay, so Friday and Saturday is the round of 64, and then Sunday through Monday is a round of 32, and then the Sweet 16 takes place March 29th through March 30th. Elite 8, March 31st through April 1st. The final 4 game is April 5th, and the NCAA championship is April 7th. You know, that's like something that it's just one of those things where maybe the powers that be did not, because this is what it looked like. And it's actually starkly different from what it is, right? So they had Jackson State and Portland 3. In Storrs, they had Rice. So remember when I was talking about it yesterday. I was like, everybody was like, we don't want Jackson State to be a 15 seed. We don't want them to be a 15 seed. I was like, I'd rather be a 15 seed or a 15, give me a 15 seed or give me a 13 seed, right? So as you can see in that Baton Rouge section right there, they had Creighton, Miami, LSU, and Jackson State. LSU is actually ranked a third seed. So I feel like it was just one of those things where they kind of was like, let's switch it up. So let's go ahead and look at the bracket. I do want to let you guys know that I will be having a SheLovesThee women's basketball tournament bracket. We're going to do women's. Some folks want to do women's and men's. I think I need to just stick with one. With a guaranteed prize pool of $300. Thanks to my lovely sponsors. I have a $300 prize pool. That's the guarantee. And in the event that the entry fee goes above that, it can go up to as much as $500. Let's look at the bracket, y'all. Let's go over it. And so those details will be coming soon because the playing game is next Wednesday. So let's break this bracket down piece by piece, okay? Because I noticed a couple of things, especially like the playing games. It was weird. I want to know how that works. So let's start with Albany 1. South Carolina is going to be playing Sacred Heart or Presbyterian. As you know, last year Southern played Sacred Heart. I don't know if you guys remember tuning into that particular game when Southern played Sacred Heart, but Southern played Sacred Heart in that playing game. So it looks like Sacred Heart has another playing game versus Presbyterian. North Carolina is going to be playing Michigan State, Oklahoma, blah, 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 blah. But that's those 4 games are going to be played in Columbia, South Carolina, Bloomington. I don't know where that's at. Indiana, Nebraska, Texas A&M, blah, 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 blah. Boring. Yeah, I don't really. Albany 1, I'm not really interested in. Let's scroll over here to Albany 2. So I'm interested in Albany 2. And the reason why I'm interested in Albany 2 is because I feel like maybe they wanted an Iowa and LSU matchup. And so they're kind of cooking the books here, right? There we go. Mr. Campbell said it. LSU in the same bracket with Iowa. I mean, they don't know. I mean, Jackson State alums are everywhere. And if at all possible, we're going to go. You know what I'm saying? But like, if it was LSU, you're going to see probably anywhere from maybe, if possible, you're going to see like maybe 1,500 to 2,000, maybe. And we're not talking about just Jackson State, right? Because all the HBCUs are going to be supporting Jackson State. So, heck, that's a hop, skip, and a jump. Right? So you have to think about that. It wouldn't have been just Jackson State there. And that's a hop, skip, and a jump because that's where the majority of the SWAC is located, is right there where Louisiana is. So that's probably why they shipped us to the upper room. But let's go ahead and break this down. So, of course, they have Iowa, and then Holy Cross and UT Martin have to do some type of playing game. Here's what's interesting for me. Is LSU versus Rice. That's an interesting matchup, right? So it would be, let's just say the higher seeds win. So LSU versus Louisville, and then LSU. I don't know. They got to get out of LSU. Will have to face UCLA. So it's I guess it's kind of like strategy. Like you said, some of these things as to why they're doing certain matchups that they're doing. It says, who is the 3 seed? You asked me who is the 3 seed in South Carolina's bracket. Let's see. Oregon State. Yeah, Oregon State is the 3 seed. And see, Kent, like all these schools, like Kent State, California Baptist, their net, all you have to do is literally look at the net rankings. So for me, they got the seeding right. As far as like when you look at the net rankings, you'll see that Kent State and California Baptist are ranked lower than Jackson State. Let me see. So there's the net rankings, like when it was all said and done, Jackson State's ranking was at 100. Like it went from 105 to just a flat 100 on the ranking, and then it was 120 for California Baptist. So I knew we should have been ranked higher than them, and I said, dang. Which for me, I feel like what they don't realize is that Jackson State is all over. So there's alums in that northern northeastern hemisphere. They're all over the place. Let me see, did we play Rice? I don't see Rice on here. Well, not for this year anyway. All right. Okay, let's take a look at our bracket, which is Portland 3, okay? So our bracket, do you see how A&M Corpus Christi is a 16 seed, but they don't have to do a playing game? So it's interesting. Oh, yeah. Yes, we did play Oregon State. I'm sorry. We did play Oregon State. We lost 58-78. That was in Corvallis, Oregon. I want to say we were definitely working through some injuries at that time. You know, University of Miami, we played 52-59. We played them close, right? And some of these, we could have definitely, this little Oregon State, Mississippi State, and University of Miami, this definitely could have, the tide could have changed, literally, just by having certain players available. We didn't have full strength during this time. We did not have the full team, the full matchup during this little 3-game streak, right? That Mississippi State game was really, really close. Just a couple of mistakes. University of Miami as well. I think we were missing Daphne White for that University of Miami game. A couple of those games with Oregon State. I can't remember which one it is, whether it was Oregon State. Avent didn't have a chance to play yet, right? And then I think Avent's first game might have been Miami, I want to say. Because it was like in limbo on whether or not from December 9th to December 20th, it was in limbo on whether or not certain players could play without being deemed ineligible if a second time transfer, the NCAA won their lawsuit, but they ended up deciding not to go any further. So that's why those players got to go ahead and play, but we did not necessarily have our full strength there. So, and you know what? Let's go ahead. I'm getting ready to go ahead and pull up the UConn roster so we can see what it is that we're dealing with for this particular round. Before I go any further, let me go back to that bracket. All right, so the first round is March 22nd through the 23rd, which is next Friday and Saturday. Next Friday and Saturday in Storrs. Syracuse versus Auburn, and then UConn versus Jackson State. Now, let me pull up UConn women's basketball team. I don't got their height on here. For some reason it doesn't have their, let me see. Okay. So I'll just go through their names real quick. It says apparently UConn has 8 available players. Oh, only we could wish and hope. All right. What happened to the Auburn transfer that was on the team? So there was a couple players that haven't actually been with Jackson State's women's team for quite some time, for at least, I want to say like 6 or 7 games they have not played. 6 or 7 games, including maybe even more than that. You just didn't notice it. But those particular players have not been on the team for quite some time, but even before the SWAC championship. I'm not sure what happened, but they haven't been on the team for quite some time. All right. So, number 2 is KK Arnold, and then Aaliyah Edwards, Cadence Samuels, Paige Buckners. I know they were talking about Paige. I guess that's the Paige that you guys are talking about, right? Let's see Paige. Because I saw the name Paige in the chat. So I don't know anything about Paige. Paige is 6 foot and she's a guard. And she's a redshirt junior. UConn went to the Final Four all-tournament team. Yep. So that's Paige. I'm really like clicking on their stuff. Oh, okay, here's where their heights are, right? So I know that they said that not all of their players are available, right? But for me, otherwise known as Paige Buckets. Paige Buckets, is she okay. Okay, Miss Paige Buckets. It says Aaliyah Edwards, who averages 17 and is 6'3", has a broken nose but will play. One of them is number 0. I don't see the number 0 on here. If I'm JSU, I'm putting Maya Crump on Paige Buckner's like South Carolina did a few years ago with Dee Henney and give her that size to the face. All right. So so Amara DeBerry is 6'6", so she lines up with Angel Jackson. And Jana Alfrey is 6'5". Aaliyah Edwards, 6'3". Ice Brady, 6'3", and then a couple of players that are 6'2". So once again, for the most part, we have to combat against that. If we're looking at what do we have on our roster and how is it going to match up, right? So on our particular roster, of course, we have Angel Jackson, and she's 6'6", but we also have some of our other players who have height as well. And one of those, of course, is Layla Walker, who's 6'5". She's from Gulfport, Mississippi. She's from the same place as Daphne White. I was saying that our number 0 left the team. She was one of the 2. Oh, okay. I got you. One of the UConn pages tweeted saying Amari will be out the tournament. Who said that? Are they trying to just like psych us out? A lot of 6-foot players. Yes, there are a lot of 6-foot players. And so that's what I was talking about when I was talking about the difference between SWAC play and going to the big dance, right? You're going to have more height at that level. And so what is going to be important with that? What's going to be important for Jackson State is, I feel like, hitting threes, yes, but that inside play and trying to get them to draw fouls, right? Kishana is a pro at being able to go up and draw a foul. So Tilly Bowler, Maya Crump. Do you think they're going to change the lineup? So Tilly Bowler, Maya Crump, Kishana Luckett. Do you think that they'll keep Zakiya Mahoney or switch it out for Avon? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I feel like for this particular matchup, that's maybe something that it's not even a stab at Zakiya, but I feel like when you're going into the tournament, you're going to switch up your play a little bit, right? So Avon is 6 foot, so she's going to give a little bit of that height, right? I believe they'll start Hickman to defend Paige. Paige? I think they're going to put Maya. Okay, let me play that for you guys. I'm going to play what Maya Crump was saying when she was saying she's always wanted to go against the hardest player on the team, right? That she requests to be matched with the she's specifically asked to be matched with the player that is basically the hardest player. So she's going to ask to guard Paige. She's going to want to guard Paige. And this is what she had to say in her interview.
Man, as you can see, I've been crying since we won. Coming into this year, it was a lot of ups and downs for me, as it was last year. But Coach Reed just made sure I just kept a level head, made sure I just kept pushing. Especially this year, they emphasized that I was the leader. And sometimes it can be hard to accept that role because that involves doing a lot of the little things that everybody doesn't do. Not saying they don't do it, they do it. But I made sure to put emphasis on becoming the defender on this team, guarding the best player every game. I wanted the best player every game, rebounding every game, just working through trials and tribulations. It's amazing. Like, I'm really holding back tears right now.
Okay, so in another interview, she basically said that she really stepped up the game. So she specifically asked to guard the hardest player on the team, right? And we can see it translate, okay? What I mean by that is we can see when she was matched up against Zay Green, or when she was matched up against Grizzle, canceling out. Or I maybe it's just the whole team defensively. We just need to see if that particular defense is going to translate. If we're able to quelch Paige and her buckets that she gets, this is a winnable game. As I stated before, there's a couple of things that going into these games, you just know that's how the game goes. You know that's how it plays. And those are, when it comes to fouls being called on your behalf, sometimes, most of the time, a lot of times the ref misses them, right? There's fouls that should be called and they're not called. Fouls being called against you that shouldn't be called. We know that happens as well. And your reaction when you don't get a call that you think you should that you think you should get, which I commend Jackson State for not necessarily letting players get under their skin. I think we only had one incident where Mahoney punched a player at Valley, but I think that might have been some type of personal beef. That was her former team. On the offensive side of things, our offense has to be on, right? They'll attack Angel to take her. And so that's the thing. When I said that they might be trying to get like calls that they wouldn't normally get. So what I mean by that is Angel be blocking the mess out of some balls, right? And if you get a fair call, it's a block. If it's not a fair call, it's, oh, you fouled the player, even though it's a clean block. And we cannot have Angel in any type of foul trouble. Like if Angel or any of our players starters, who is Ari? Do you mean Ariana Hunter? You mean Ariana Hunter? I don't know if you meant Hunter. Crump, Bowler, Walker, and Mahoney. Oh, really? So you think they're going to take Kishana out of the starting lineup? Just to evaluate how the ref's calling. Okay. Ariana Hunter. I could see that, right? Because at this point, when you go to the big dance, you're definitely going to be playing against the refs. How you react to things And this is the most important of everything, right? When you do get a call and it's a shooting foul, you have to make your free throws. You have to make your free throws. Like, the edge for Jackson State is going to be controlling the game defensively. Rebounding is going to be paramount. And then last but not least, it's the free throws. I really think that it can come down to free throws, because those are the shots that sometimes you don't get a fair shake. So when you actually get a call, you got to make sure that those free throws go in. And what I like about our team is that it's so interchangeable, right? And what I mean by that is Coach Reed and her staff, they really go deep off into the bench, right? And our bench players showed us what they could do, right? When Breland has a good night, when she's on, she's on. When she's on, she's on. So let's go ahead and look at these, which, you know what, one thing that I'm really proud of, as the season progressed, Keshana was not turning over the ball as much as she was in the beginning of the season. So that's going to be paramount. Keshana really can lead the way with this. Keshana is really good on the free throw line. Tilly Bowler, really good on the free throw line. So Maya Crump as well. Yeah, she's an ace. Breland can definitely be an ace in the hole, right? She's a shooter. Like, we know Avon, we know Maya Crump, we know Tilly Bowler, but Breland, she's an ace in the hole. Liv said they only have 8 players. They might have 8 players, but who knows, okay? I'm not listening to nothing UConn says. So, I mean, this right here, if we can get UConn in foul trouble, oh, baby. This is why, but I will say this. I've noticed it in a couple of games. We will have some of the players on the opposite team who have, like, what you mean, Breland? I'm not saying it right. Here come Mr. Campbell. You know, he got to put his little 2 cents in. Rattler has to let it be known that his cousin from Wiggins, Mississippi, hey, that part, okay? So here's a couple of things that I'll say about, especially, you know who they call a charge on or an offensive foul on all the time? We're talking about she's going to get a charge or an offensive foul probably at least once per game. Maya Crump. They are always, and that's in the SWAC, they are always calling a charge on her. When she be going up for the basket, they're always calling offensive foul on her. All right, so let me see. I'm just looking at these stats over here. Okay. Free throw percentage is 70, almost 71%, right? That's not too bad, right? That's not too bad. All right. So, like I said, we just need to be on our A game. The defensive and offensive rebounding, you got to be up there to get the ball every single. I love this little thing that I've seen Kishana do it a couple of times. I've seen Maya do it a couple of times, which is, well, Kishana really don't miss. So it's really only been a couple of times where if they do miss the ball, Tilly's done it before too. If they do miss it, they'll go for the rebound and then quickly put it up for 2. All right, let me look up these so-called injuries. What are these injuries? Let's read these, okay? And we're not, not saying it. I mean, these are things that you need to know. You need to know who you're going up against. What are you facing? On Jackson State's end, we have Daphne White that's out with a torn ACL. All right, let's see. All right. So junior guard Ducharme is out for the season. She suffered concussions. Aubrey Griffin is out. She has a torn ACL. So that's the same injury as Daphne White. Patterson is out. She has a knee surgery. AZ Fudd had a medial meniscal tear and an ACL tear. A lot of ACL tears. Goodness gracious. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. So there are some players that had some injuries. So, but for us, we are down 2 players because they're no longer on the team. And then we're down 2 players because they're no longer on the team, and then we don't have Daphne. Who is announcing these things? Who's making these announcements? Y'all put the announcement in the chat. I want to see the announcement. Y'all want to go ahead and uh-oh. Who is saying that? Oh. Oh, wow. Okay, I got it. Thank you for tagging me. Jackson State may beat us now, I fear. Oh, shoot. I almost said the SHIT word. Y'all excuse me. If you have questions about the players, just hit me up in my DM. Now, let me see who this Conley person is before I go repeating this. Y'all type allegedly in the chat. I don't want to be over here and somebody be like, well, SheLovesThee said. So I need some allegedlys in the chat. At least 10. Allegedly. I need to be up in Connecticut next weekend, honey. I need to be leaving on Thursday. I can't drive no 10 hours. I'm not doing that. Ain't happening. All right. Y'all didn't hear me earlier. Coach Reed would have had played two of the best women's basketball coaches in women's basketball history, played one really good and can potentially beat the other. All right, so right now I only got 3. I got 4 allegedly. Y'all, before we discuss on whether or not UConn has or does not have certain players on their team, we got to put allegedly on it. I can't be over here telling y'all that they only got 8 players and then they come out and they have more. All right. No, this is not. I'm going to read Daniel Connolly. So first I'm going to read what they said. This person said, Jackson State may beat us now, I fear. Are they trying to psych us out? Do you ever learn about the art of war? Yeah, I was worried then. Now I think it advantages JSU. All right. Daniel Connolly is a publisher for the UConn Women's Basketball Weekly. And he says, why would they announce this tonight? You know what they're doing? Boy. I don't know if any of you guys know about sports betting, right? But sports betting is really big in college, right? In college basketball and March Madness. They want people to take Jackson State money line or Jackson State, whatever. They're trying to like get people to bet on Jackson State. Stop playing with us. Y'all not slick. All right. Amari DeBerry's season is over, according to Gino. And why would you let this information come out? Like, why would you announce these injuries for the world to see? Why would you be announcing that? We're going to come with our A game. It says, holy, that's what? 6 players now done for this season? Get well, Amari. Never really started. Get well soon. Let's look at Amari DeBerry and see what it. Oh, do you know who Amari DeBerry is? Amari DeBerry is their tallest player. Amari DeBerry is their tallest player. She's the one that matches Angel Jackson. I'm not saying that I'm falling for it, but I'm looking at this roster. Amari DeBerry is 6'6", right? Like, where did they get this from? And why would he announce that? Why would he be announcing that? It's just iffy, right? This is a UConn Women's Basketball Weekly. You would never want to expose who is injured and who isn't. Not to that point. Did she get a concussion in another game or something that we don't know about? Oh, here it is right here, y'all. So this isn't new information. Dang, you ain't letting me see it. All right. So it kind of said it right here. It said, junior forward, DeBerry is in concussion protocol, and this was on March 2nd, right? This was put out on March 2nd. So that just means that, you know, she's been struggling with, so it might be true. It says UConn women's basketball will be without junior forward Amari DeBerry for its regular season finale at Providence. So I'm not going to rule it out, right? So allegedly, right? That's allegedly. So, I mean, regardless, Amari DeBerry is 6'6", and we would match her up, of course, with Angel Jackson and matching or Layla. Layla can take her. Layla's 6'5". So that's our height for our team, though, right there is Layla Walker and Angel Jackson. This is a perfect play-in game, right, though? This is a perfect type of play-in game for us, for them to be down some. Let me see the names of the other players that were allegedly, right? Allegedly, they have an injury bug, right? Ducharme. Caroline Ducharme, she's 6'2" guard, so that X's that out. So we got the 6'6" out, the 6'2" out. What's the other one? It's all alleged, though. I can't with 100% say whether or not that's true. Griffin. Hey, where's my stuff at? Uh-oh. Mr. Forsett dropped the link. I hope you guys know. I have to get ready to. I'm going to leave Mr. Ford in control. He's going to do like the other night. Let me go ahead and pull up the attendance for the SWAC tournament. Hey, you know what I'm going to try to do on, let me see what day I can do it. Thursday of this week, I'm going to try to do like a side by side, so we can play a little game called Let's Match These Players Up. Hey, Mr. Ford.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Mr. Ford, I'm over here. We breaking down UConn's roster, seeing who's available and who's not.
Now, is that UConn girls or boys?
UConn girls versus Jackson State.
Woo! Now, where's that game going to be?
In Connecticut.
Yeah, we should have known that.
They sent us to the upper room, huh?
Huh?
They sent us to the upper room, huh?
They've been doing it forever, babe. I remember in 1986, they made Mississippi Valley boys play Duke, and Valley for a half and maybe about 10 minutes, a little bit more, had Duke on the ropes, baby. That was when Duke had, was it Danny Ferry? Was that the crew? But they've always done that to us. They always put us against number one in hopes that we won't get any more of that money.
We against the number 3 seed versus 14.
Okay, so Jackson's the fourth. What is Jackson, the 14th?
Jackson's the 14 seed.
And UConn is what?
14.
3 seed?
I mean, 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, one thing they don't want is for us to advance or get any of that money. They don't want that.
Wow.
So they wanted us eliminated as quickly as possible.
Damn.
Yeah, always.
Dang. Where are the credentials at? All right.
Hey, I heard they had 2,000 paid attendance in Birmingham last night. Is that true?
Let me pull up those numbers for you.
Yeah, I heard they had 2,000. That's a big improvement over that 100 and something they had last year.
Well, Mr. Ford, you have to look at who is in the final.
Yeah, it was Grambling and Texas Southern, right?
Right, but you have to also look at who was before that, Jackson State and Alcorn.
Right. Okay, and that was the girls' game.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So at the girls' game at 4:30, the attendance was 2,856.
Okay.
And then for the Grambling State men's basketball, let me pull that up. If it would have been Jackson State in the final for the men's too,
yeah.
Good Lord. All right, let me see.
Who? While you doing that, who eliminated Jackson State's men? Texas Southern. Okay. Was it a blowout?
No, Mr. Ford, it was not a blowout.
Okay, was not a blowout.
See, that's okay. So, Mr. Ford, that's what I keep trying to tell you, and you do not listen, right?
What was that?
That I was trying to tell you that it's about matchups and who is in the final.
Okay.
For Texas Southern versus Grambling at 8:30 p.m., the attendance was 2,108.
Okay.
So you know what that means?
Uh-huh.
It means Jackson State is the draw.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the women.
I'm just talking about Jackson State, period. That's what I was trying to tell you.
I go with that. I don't have a listen.
No,
I don't have a problem with that.
Saying that we needed to have 2 night games. The men's need to have this, that, and third, and that's what I'm telling you. It doesn't matter what the matchup is. If it's Jackson State, then they're gonna turn out. If it's not Jackson State, you're not gonna get as big as a turnout. If it's Jackson State versus Alcorn, that's probably going to be the highest attendance that you'll see, right?
Uh-huh.
Because of, I would say that maybe Alabama A&M versus Alabama State, maybe, right? I think that would be if it was Alabama State.
Well, Alabama A&M was in the semis, right? Weren't they in the semifinals?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the attendance for that game?
Let me see. Let's see what the Bethune. Did you hear Bethune-Cookman gets to go to got invited to the CBI? Did you hear that?
No, I hadn't.
The men's team. So let's go ahead and get these.
And Grambling put them out, right? Didn't Grambling eliminate?
Yes.
Bethune-Cookman. Yeah. So we got kudos to Reggie Theus and his program.
Yes, he's accepted a bid to the 2024 College Basketball Invitational. It's only the second ever postseason berth for BCU.
Okay.
The complete CBI bracket and field will be announced Sunday night with ticket information set to follow Monday. How the hell is stuff already sold out?
Well, UConn now. They
didn't leave. You know what they did? How many folks is gonna be able to get Jackson State ticket? How is Jackson State supposed to get tickets? I thought they were supposed to set something aside. Boy, they making sure they
do give the schools a number of tickets, but
they need to give them at least 500.
I wouldn't doubt that. They'll probably do that. But Gino Ariyama's made
I would probably have
that arena up there in Connecticut is like Pauley Pavilion was in the 60s and the 70s.
Gino getting ready to retire. And all of his
it might be about time.
He's got a lot of injuries on his team, Mr. Ford. We were just going over it. Like there's
because Gino's been at how long has he been at UConn?
Ooh, wouldn't that be great if she beats him? Whew, that would be legendary. Oh. He's in his 39th season. Good
Woo,
Lord.
at
Can you
UConn?
imagine? Yes.
Yeah, it's about time.
Dang, he went through the civil rights and everything. No, I'm just kidding.
No, when he got that program in the 80s?
Uh-oh, these UConn folks is going to learn. We're going to throw the hat up in the air, and they're going to be looking crazy. Okay, so
Yeah,
FYI,
originally he took the #1 status from Pat Summitt. When Gino's program at one time, that Tennessee, that Lady Volunteer program was the top program in the nation, and then he took over. Aryama's program took over at UConn, especially when they had that Tarazi, Sue Bird, Swin Cash, that crew. That was was that the 2000s, early 2000s?
mm-hmm.
They took the #1 position away from the University of Tennessee. Then he was able to, remember Pat Summitt thought she had Maya Moore. And then Maya Moore signed with UConn. Remember, she was real upset about that.
So they're saying that UConn only has 8 players available.
Oh, okay. Okay.
EA, what do you think? Hell yeah, the Sonic Boom of the South is going to be there. Duh. He asking, are we going to take the band?
Yeah, they always make space for the bands.
Is
Yeah,
water wet?
Yeah, they'll always do that. I remember one year, do you remember when Chris Webber was at Michigan and he had a chance to see the jukebox? Southern was in their regional, and he went crazy watching Southern's band in the stands, and he was begging for them to come back the next week or something, because they had never seen a band like that jukebox. Yeah, that was when the Fab Five was at Michigan at the time. Yeah, you're right, Alonzo. You're right. Louisiana Tech had Kim Mulkey, Janice Lawrence. That guy was named Leon Barrymore. And before him, it was Sonia Hogue. Leon was Sonia's assistant. That's Kim Mulkey and them. That's the early 80s. Yeah, I remember them. You're right. The Lady Texters, that's what they called them. That's Teresa Witherspoon and them. All of them came a little later. Yeah, they and then I think Southern Cal with Reggie Miller's sister took it from them, because Southern Cal had Cooper. Cynthia Cooper, the McGee twins, and Cheryl Miller. That was should have been the early 80s. Let's see, that should have been the early 80s too.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, we looking for the upset, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that Coach Reed can do that. I do think it's interesting to see them, meaning when I say them, I mean like beat writers from UConn talk about injuries. That's weird to me that a beat writer for a school would highlight injuries. Like, you wouldn't, if we had injuries, you're not going to have a press release from us talking about them. Not on no public platform.
That's psychological. That's psychological. They want you to come in. They want you to be overconfident.
No, we're never overconfident. Never that.
Yeah, never. That's about.
Hell yeah, just in Jersey. But we do know that these UConn fans better keep it cute, because you don't want to go to war with us. It's going to be HBCU versus everybody. So I would tread lightly when you over here talking about Jackson State. Tread real light on whatever it is that you plan on saying. Okay. And then Norfolk is playing Stanford.
Ooh, what? Now, where's that game?
All the way across country.
In Palo Alto?
Let me look.
That lady has been at Stanford almost 50 years. And she looks the same. She's been there for years, man. That lady, man, she's got a number of she's got a number of national championships too. Tara Vanderveer or something like that. What's her name?
It'll be in Stanford.
Yeah. That's Palo Alto. That's the Bay Area. Yeah, and I remember that. That was Lindsey Hunter. Lindsey Hunter. I think Coach Andy Stocklin had Jackson State at the time. Yeah, they haven't forgotten that either. Because some people still remember that.
It says JSU men already beat UConn with the upset in 1993.
Yeah, that was Lindsey Hunter's team. What that guy was named? Ryan Lorthridge. He was on. Them guys was from Jackson. Them guys had played high school ball in Jackson. That's Andy Stocklin, I think it was. He was the coach.
Okay, here we go. We got video of it thanks to Jerome. Jackson State versus Connecticut.
Yeah.
Let me see if it'll play.
Where is Lindsey Hunter now? Is he coaching?
I don't know where that old ass man is.
No, he was. He got NBA ring. I think he got. Didn't he get an NBA championship with Detroit or with the Lakers or something?
Mm-hmm.
He was at Mississippi Valley.
Lindsey Hunter, though, was not intimidated. He hit the three. Then John Taylor spots him inside for the alley hoop. Hunter had 34 in the second half. Jackson State stunning UConn up by 11.
Dang!
Hit three-pointers with less than a minute on the clock to send it to overtime. Danielle Marshall put this one.
Yeah, I remember Danielle Marshall. I remember them guys.
Beat UConn on its own floor in OT. Well, Hunter couldn't be stopped. He scored 9 of the Jags, 10 points in OT. He had 39 in the game, and they shocked. UConn has played well in the NIT, won it all in 1988.
Because Lindsey Hunter went to Alcorn first, right? And then he transferred back to Jackson.
Mr. Ford, you are the historian. You tell me.
I don't know if I'm just checking. I think he went to Alcorn first and then transferred to Jackson.
You need to. We're gonna phone a friend, y'all. We're gonna play. Who wants to answer Mr. Ford's questions right? We gotta phone a friend for that. Where's Doc Holliday at?
Barely hold off the Huskies. He had 39 in the game, and they shocked.
Where is
played well in the NIT, won it all in 1988.
Doc Holliday?
Lindsey Hunter, though, was not.
Mr. Campbell just said yes, he transferred back. Yeah, he went to Alcorn first, and then he transferred back to Jackson.
That game.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was in the NIT. Wasn't it the NIT?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Alcorn.
Danielle Marshall put this one in, and then Jackson State had a try.
He didn't get drafted
on its own floor in OT. Well, Hunter couldn't be stopped. He scored 9 of the Jags, 10 points in OT. They barely hold off the Huskies. He had 39 in the game, and they shocked.
Damn.
Yeah, I remember them. Listen, them guys right there, he's talking about. See, years ago, Georgetown used to control the Big East. And then that guy.
Knows?
Huh?
I said Jerome would know. Shoot.
And then listen.
How did Jerome find that footage of UConn getting their ass beat?
But let me tell you, UConn took the Big East away from Georgetown because the coach at UConn came from Northeastern up in Boston, and he took over UConn. He took the Big East away from John Thompson and Georgetown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I used to watch UConn because UConn came up from the bottom. Like I said, they took the Big East away from Georgetown.
Yeah. Well, listen. Hey, Brother Jerome.
Hey, do y'all love? It's a great Sunday, ain't it?
It's a great day to be a Tiger, ain't it?
That's it.
A Gremlin Tiger too, huh, Mr. Ford?
Oh yeah. I don't know the last time we won a SWAC basketball championship.
Never.
Yeah, yes, listen. You gotta remember now, Willis Reed went to Grambling. Larry Wright went to Grambling. We done had some basketball players at Grambling now. We had a coach named Fred Hobby? Hobby was a big time coach at one time. Now don't forget that.
There's a first time for everything, Mr. Ford.
Let me ask you, all these great players that went to Grambling, how did y'all win y'all first championship yesterday? Like, y'all been in the SWAC like 200 years.
That's what I'm saying. It's been years since we won the SWAC basketball. When was the last time? Was it the 90s or 80s?
They said y'all ain't never won the SWAC.
Wait a minute. We won a national championship. How could we not have? Remember, Willis Reed and them won a national championship.
Your first SWAC championship ever, Mr. Ford.
I don't believe that. We got to go.
Mr. Ford.
You should know that. You're literally a historian.
Listen. Willis Reed and them won a national championship, and you're gonna tell me that's our first SWAC championship?
But wait, was that as a Division II school?
No, they were. Well, I think they called themselves small. Somebody just said that they were NAIA.
NAIA.
Yeah, because they won it, I think, in 60 or was it 60 or 60? Somebody look up Willis Reed. I think they won it in 60 or 61.
60.
Mr. Ford, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, but I'm still thinking we were. Somebody find out when's the last time Grambling won a SWAC basketball championship. I can't believe that's the first time.
It's the first.
I can't believe that. Huh?
I think Dr. King was still an undergrad, wasn't
he? No, man, no. Listen, when Dr. King was around, we weren't in the SWAC. Now, remember, we were in something called the Midwestern or something. We were playing people like Lincoln out of Missouri.
Columbia, Missouri, Jefferson City.
Hey, Darryl Smith, what are you talking about? Wait a minute. This guy says, I thought Willis Reed went to the University of Houston. That was Elvin Hayes.
You guys did you guys even have TVs then? It was in black and white, huh?
Yeah, you talking about the 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not the 60s. We ain't talking about the 60s. We're talking about early 60s. Like, this is before.
But somebody check, what year did Grambling win the NAIA championship? Was it 60 or 61?
Okay, I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, yeah. And Willis Reed was the man.
NAIA. And they over here talking about we don't reach out to talented people. All right, let's see. I mean, it's all over the place. Grambling men win their first ever SWAC championship. It's all over the place.
They Grambling
never won a SWAC basketball championship?
That's what they're saying.
You're the one who's the historian, and you don't got that in your Rolodex.
I thought they won. I thought Hobby won the SWAC championship. You remember Fred Hobby?
It says, here it is right here. Although the Tigers won an NA, dang, it won't let me read. Let me see if it'll let me read it.
Now, Mr. Ford, Grambling's supposed to be a part of the Big Three. This is your first SWAC title. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I thought we had won it before. Listen, y'all got, because, when I was Grambling, Fred Hobby, he was on his last leg when I got there. But I thought he was very successful during the 60s and even into the 70s.
Dang, where is it? I just seen it. It said NAIA. It said it. It said 1961, but it said NAIA, and we aren't a part of that. Here it is right here. I'm going to pull it up for you.
Pull it up.
You know I love to Google the information so I could put it right there so you can see it. That's one of them archives. You got to go to the library and you put it on, like, it's some type of screen, and you turn the knob to look at the newspaper and stuff like that. That's where you would find that information. It said the Grambling State, although the Tigers won an NAIA national championship in 1961, before, it doesn't say it, but that's before the Voting Rights Act. Grambling State has never won the SWAC tournament since its inception.
Whoa! I didn't know that. I'm sorry. You teaching me. I didn't know it.
Oh, I'm teaching y'all. I just taught Mr. Ford something. I am hyped.
I didn't know that.
Ford something.
Yeah, you taught me something.
So,
Yeah,
Mr. Ford, who's y'all's first? Mr. Ford, who's the first round team y'all go against?
Wait a minute, I saw it.
Ooh, Mr. Campbell said you're not going to talk about Grambling men's basketball, but you can talk about FAMU basketball.
Hey, listen. Hey, Mr. Campbell, I found y'all a coach. It's Mike Davis. He used to be at Texas Southern. He was fired at Detroit Mercy. Bring him to Tallahassee. I was thinking about y'all the other day. Go get that guy, Mike Davis. He was formerly a coach at Texas Southern. He's been to the NCAA National Championship as coach at Indiana, Tallahassee, and pay him. I was thinking about y'all the other day.
Mike Davis ain't finna put up with no food.
You know, Grambling got to do a play-in game. Mr.
Yeah, that's
Ford.
right. And I think it's at Montana State, right?
That's a winnable game, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, we can. You know, I think some SWAC teams win that play-in game.
I'm going to take a 3-team parlay with Grambling State, Jackson State, and Norfolk for $100. Ooh, boy, I'm getting paid.
Hey, let me tell you something. I want Mike Davis back in the SWAC. Bring Mike Davis to Tallahassee so y'all can beat Reggie Theus. Because if you don't bring Mike Davis, Reggie Theus going to mess over any little no-name coach you bring in. Because y'all better...
How you going to fix it? You done messed me up the Mr. Ford, I'm going to play.
Mr. Ford, look, Mike Davis is not fooling with no Tallahassee. I can guarantee you that.
Why?
Come on now. Do you really want me to say? Look, I was doing so good on this Sunday.
Well,
just sticking to Jackson State.
I'll take the spread, Zach. Ooh, they're saying I better keep my money in my pocket. Norfolk not beating Stanford. Okay, but they might cover. Okay, so money line Jackson State, money line Grambling, and the spread Norfolk. How about that? What about the spread? I can take the spread.
Hey, listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, that's going to make, if we could get Mike Davis back in the SWAC, that would make the conference better in men's basketball. And what would be a better place than Tallahassee, Florida, on the highest of 7 hills at Florida A&M University?
You can tell too many snakes. You know that actually is not the highest of the 7 hills. It's actually the second lowest.
Man, listen, I would love for Mike Davis to come back to the SWAC.
Tamona, let me tell you, I just figured out Mr. Ford messy. He know anytime I come on screen, he know how to bait me. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be taking the bait every time. So
how did we get on that?
Hey, man, I was thinking about, I saw Mike Davis was fired by Detroit Mercy. And the first thing I said was, we need him at Florida A&M University. That's where we need him at.
All right. So what y'all think about Howard?
That guy's good. That's he's a graduate of Duke University. Isn't his name Larry Blakeney or something? He's good. He's won. This is 2 consecutive SWAC championships, right? Mm-hmm. There you go, Mr. Campbell, with that mess. We don't want Mike Davis. So listen. So what you want is for Reggie Theus to come to Tallahassee every year and beat you to death. Kenny Blakeney, that's right. Because I think Blakeney went to DeMatha High. DeMatha is a big-time basketball power. It was a high school power. Morgan Wooten was their coach. You know, they were one of the few schools that beat Kareem Jabbar when he was at Power Memorial. But he's from that school. That school was called DeMatha. DeMatha High, I think it was. DeMatha, something like that.
Well, let me say this. You know, I just spoke to some folks from our New York chapter. They're going to be up there thick. You know, we play UConn. So y'all let me know.
But how are you guys getting tickets? They said the tickets were sold out.
Are the tickets already sold out?
I mean, where do you get the tickets from?
So if I'm not mistaken, they give
Mr. Campbell, you don't want Mike Davis, so that means you don't want your basketball team to win. You don't want your basketball. This guy's a legendary coach in the SWAC, and you don't want it? Come on.
Tamona, I think the NCAA gives the schools a certain allotment of tickets.
Well, we need at least It's 5,000. No.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good representation at UConn. And
Yeah,
the boom gonna be there
Eric G,
too.
you might be right. Yeah, that guy might be grabbed up.
He showed up in Jersey.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't even.
Hey Doc, you want
out. So I was like,
hey, listen, so you two Jacksonians, what was the reason for the fall of Jackson State's men basketball program? Was they didn't have enough big men? What was the problem this year? Was it the big men? The big men let them down, or they didn't have enough power?
That was just the injuries.
The injuries, okay. And was it the guards or was it the big people?
We watched both. We watched Ruffin, who was I think he came from Mississippi State. That was a guard. Mansell.
Because they said next year now y'all gonna be playing a Mike Jones All-American, right? Didn't a kid leave Ole Miss and he's coming to Jackson?
Ole Miss, yeah, him. He had a seizure.
Yeah, wasn't he a McDonald's All-American?
Yeah, he was a McDonald's All-American. Hey y'all, how you doing, Mr. Ford? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, I just finished doing my show. He was a McDonald's All-American from Ole Miss, so he'll be back. And
hey, Doc, let me ask you something now. You clear and balanced. What you think about Mike Davis going to Florida A&M as the new head basketball coach?
Man, he'll do some work over there.
That's what, and I think it would make the SWAC better. That would bring the SWAC up higher. Now, right now, they got the SWAC ranked over the MEAC as far as a men's basketball conference. Okay, so you bring in Mike Davis, that takes you higher.
Yeah.
I think he will listen. I think Mike Davis, he wants to be a part of programs that have that tradition because the buy-in is not as hard, which is why he was at Texas Southern. They got their SWAC power in basketball. If he chooses a SWAC school, I could see him at Alabama A&M. But their head coach. I mean, they got a good head coach right now, so I don't see them making a move. But
who is that? Who's got a good head coach?
Alabama A&M. He's doing
Florida A&M is the one that needs a coach. That's where Mike Davis should be headed.
That's what I'm saying. Like he go to FAMU, they don't have that tradition in basketball to support the team the way I think Mike Davis is looking for. When he was at Texas Southern, he was able to get everything he needed to be successful.
Well, you got a point there. You're right. Now, listen, I mean, it don't take a rocket scientist to know Florida A&M is all about Florida A&M football. We know that. But I'm just saying he's been fired. He went 1-31 this year, I think. And then he comes to Florida A&M. Their basketball program is on the floor, so he can't go any farther down. Listen, I think it would be a match made in heaven, man, to bring Mike Davis to Tallahassee. I really do. I think that would help Florida A&M, and I think it would help the SWAC.
That would be a nice. I mean, to me, that would be a nice.
This guy has been in the NCAA championship, and then we get him at Florida A&M.
That would be something to see. So, oh my goodness,
what?
Who else do y'all think is on the hot seat as far as in basketball in the SWAC?
It's got to be that guy. It's got to be that guy at Florida A&M. It's got to be him.
March Madness.
What about the guy at Mississippi Valley? Is he coming back?
Who, Coach Ivory?
Yeah, is he coming back or they let him go?
I don't think they letting him go.
They did let him go.
Who they?
I don't think they did.
Who are they going to have replace him? What you letting him go for? All right, y'all. I found where the tickets are, y'all. I found them.
So yeah, I was saying for the UConn game, the Gamble Pavilion don't seat no more than probably maybe 11,000-12,000.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah. it's one of them schools it's basketball.
Yeah,
No.
UConn 1 year won it. The girls won it and the men won it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's their thing because they football ain't hitting on nothing. They all basketball. The UConn Huskies.
But what was your so
Okay,
let me get your take. I'm sorry.
Doc. What do you think about all the injuries, Doc? What do you think?
What injuries? What with UConn?
Yes.
Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. I mean,
yeah, we're gonna stick to talking about how we're going to attack this. We can talk about NCAA because that's where we at right now, Mr. Ford. We're getting ready to.
Now wait a minute. Let me just say that now, Mr. Moan, you think them white folk gonna let Jackson State come to Connecticut and beat Gino Auriemma? You believe that? They'll let them girls at UConn tackle them girls at Jackson State before they let them win that game.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this.
Damn, Mr. Ford, I'm
gonna tell you
bring on our parade like that.
You hater, man.
Rebecca Lobo ain't coming through that door. Sue Bird ain't
but let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Them officials will let them tackle them girls before they let them. Man, listen.
Man, you know what?
We talking about?
Our roughing the SWAC is ruthless. They told. I said our roughing the SWAC is ruthless. They said, "Hey JSU," they said, "Leave your dancing shoes at home. You won't be dancing long." And then somebody said, "Who is Alcorn playing?" And somebody else said, "They'll be playing on the reservation. They'll be on the reservation playing with themselves."
Wow.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this. Now, really, this guy Gino Auriemma was ruling girls women's basketball, and then Don Staley came in and clipped him. Because that's who's ruling it now. Is that Don Staley? That's South Carolina, right?
Well, if this woman was still alive, she probably would clip him too.
Which one? Pat he took it from Pat. Remember, Pat was dominating. He took it from Pat. You know that the Lady Volunteers was everything, and then the UConn women, the Huskies, came in and took it from them.
Hey. But now with the injuries, though, just gotta take advantage of it. And
listen, the thing, like I said, those things that we like Maya Crump, they call it on her all the time, and I'm not even some of them calls are iffy. Most of them are iffy, which is when she goes up to score, they always call a charge on her. Or Angel is Miss Blockiana in the SWAC, right? And they're clean blocks. You know how them folks do? Oh, she fouled. It was all ball. Oh, she got loud. Technical. Like, Lord, this man getting ready to retire, so maybe this is a great upset for it's great for women's basketball. So
if we go up there.
Hopefully the referees are taking Jackson State.
No, you don't believe that.
Who knows?
Them referees ain't gonna let nobody do nothing.
Are they cheating?
Not in Connecticut.
They're gonna take Jackson State.
They might listen. They might call it clean the first half. After the second half, it's gonna be all UConn. Every call will go to UConn. You know that now. You know how to listen. Come on now. You know how things are.
Okay, so we already went over this, but let's go over it again.
Yeah.
So what we were looking at was what is their roster? What is their height looking like, right? So their tallest player is Amari DeBerry. She's 6'6". She's out for the rest of the season, Mr. Ford.
Okay.
Aaliyah Edwards is questionable.
She got a concussion, right?
Yeah, she's questionable.
So that means they'll shoot her up and she'll be ready to go.
On a concussion? Come on, Mr. Ford.
They'll shoot her up.
Not on no concussion.
Okay, we'll see.
You can't shoot somebody up with pain medicine for.
Yeah, and she'll be ready to go.
All right, Derchame, the 6'2" guard, she's out for the rest of the season. She got she got a torn, her ACL's gone or something like that. Allegedly. Mr. Ford, not you saying they're gonna shoot her up. What they gonna give her?
Whatever.
You know what we gonna drink?
Huh?
The magic juice that they had on Space Jam. That's what we
Okay.
drink over here.
All right. Yeah.
Aaliyah Edwards got a broken nose. They done broke the girl nose. She's probably gonna be wearing one of them Jason face masks. DeBerry out. Carolina Duchame's out. What other type of injuries they got? They're allegedly, I'm gonna say that. Allegedly, they're down to 8 players. I don't know if I believe that, but that's what
I believe it.
You believe it?
Believe it. Yeah. Because you got to put out a report like, I believe it. The thing about it to me, I'll put it like this. I'll be like, I'll run a boxing one on page and let everybody else try to beat me.
Yeah, and then Aubrey Griffin, 6'1" guard, she's out. AZ Fudd is allegedly out. And I want to say Patterson's the other one. It's right here.
Mr. Mona, when's the game now? What day is the game on?
Next Friday. Or it's either next Friday or Saturday. It's next Friday.
Oh, yeah, good. So when I get home from...
I dropped the link for the tickets, y'all. I dropped it. It's on
Now what time is the game?
They don't know the times. They just know Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
I dropped the link in the ticket link. The tickets is like $30. Basically, it's kind of like they did in the WNIT where they host NCAA D1 basketball championship. It doesn't give any times right now. But yeah, I need to go ahead and get them. But anyway, I'm gonna drop it. Maybe the folks don't. So we need to make sure that we get your tickets. Dang, it's not letting me do the whole thing. Let me see if I can do just the page and then y'all find it. NCAA tournament. There we go. Here, I'll share it so y'all know what it looked like. It looked like this. And basically, it just says it'll be played on either Friday, March 22nd, and Sunday, or Saturday and Monday. A total of 3 games will be played in Storrs, a doubleheader, 2 games in the first round, and a single game in the second round. Okay. So, but the tickets, it's an all-session package. So basically, when you buy tickets, it covers for all of the games. And it said the adult tickets are $32, the youth tickets are $22. And so I'm gonna once again drop it in the chat in case you know somebody.
Hey, Mr. Mona, let me ask you Jacksonians a question. Now, we know that Jackson State's the #1 program in the SWAC as far as women's basketball. Who's number 2? Is it Alcorn? Who's got the second best women's program in the SWAC?
Grambling.
What do you say, Mr. Mona?
Nobody.
No, we said the second best. Oh, Mr. Campbell said Southern.
I go Grambling.
At one time, I felt it was Alabama State until this year. I don't know what happened to that program. I thought that Miss Jackson had a really good program over there after Jackson. But they kind of fell apart this year.
What?
So I guess this guy right here says no one. So the only program in the SWAC women's basketball is just Jackson, right? Nobody else matters.
You said nobody else matters?
I'm saying somebody just said right here. What did they say?
I mean, okay, so it was kind of like you were saying that you were making the statement that for the foreseeable future.
Oh, somebody said UAPB matters.
Okay, so this is what I want to say. I'm not saying that they don't matter. What I'm saying is this. It's kind of like what you said. As long as a certain coach is at the helm, there's no way to, there is no, like, who's going to beat them? Kind of like that, right?
Right.
Who's going to beat them? Nobody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm just wondering who's got the second best women's basketball program right now.
Right now.
I know Jackson's number one. No, listen, there's no argument about that. But I was just wondering who's the second best.
Yo, Grambling Tigers.
You think Grambling's number two?
Yep.
Okay.
I Coach think what she done with that team in her first year, she did a great job. She did a phenomenal job. Even though they didn't get into the NCAA tournament, they got to the WNIT. So,
well, let me ask you this: what was because I was shocked that Alcorn was in the championship. Did they just turn it around during the tournament, or did they look good during the season?
I think they caught fire in the tournament because they
in the tournament. Okay.
Yeah, they wasn't that great.
Because I was shocked when I saw them playing Jackson for the. I'd never even considered them.
What?
No, I never considered Alcorn. I was thinking maybe a Southern.
Listen, when I tell you Destiny Brown was a dog, oh my goodness.
But I think, like I said, I still think that they turned it on in the tournament. Like, you know, they beat, who did they beat? They beat who did they beat to get to the championship game? Because they beat
Grambling? You talking about
Grambling,
right?
Right. And they beat somebody else. And here they are. So they, you know, to me, I think they did a remarkable job in the tournament. They just did enough to make it.
Who's the head coach at Alcorn for the Alcorn women?
Coach Kilbert.
And is this his first year, second year? What is this?
He's been there a couple of years.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
I'm like Stocks right here. I would like to see JSU play Norfolk. I'd love to see that. The girls, yeah, that would be nice.
Oh, really? Well, I feel like we got some stuff going on.
Well, do we agree that SWAC basketball got better this year, men and women? Because I think it did.
I would agree.
Yeah, I thought compared to last year, I thought we went up. Yeah, I thought we got better, men and women. Oh, somebody said no. EA said no.
No, I think we did get better.
I thought we got better too.
I think on the men's side for the men, it was just a couple of programs that need to really step up, or they need to change some coach. You know, they need to change the person at the helm. Of course, with his squad, with FAMU, He gone.
Well, FAMU's got to change coach. Mississippi Valley is going to change. The Mississippi Valley, we said they didn't change coaches, right? Did they change coach?
Didn't Valley beat didn't Valley beat somebody this year? Didn't they?
Valley beat Prairie View.
And they ran on the floor, didn't it? Didn't they storm the floor?
They beat Prairie View with they 20 people that stormed the floor.
They stormed the floor.
See, because they didn't want it to be dangerous. That's why it was only 20 people. And you know what? Black folks know how to just kind of dibble and dabble in it, and then they just got up off of there. You see how that works?
Yeah. So how did Alabama State men's look this year? I didn't really follow it. Did they look pretty good?
They were up and down. They gave Grambling a run for their money in the last game of the season.
They made the tournament, right?
Who, Bama State?
Uh-huh. Did they make the tournament?
Yeah, yes. But listen, Mr. Ford, listen.
Uh-huh.
Some of these games were such, like, it was so all over the place with the upsets. It's kind of like, what in the world is happening? Like, how is this happening? How is this happening? The men's side was wide open. I feel like it was just whoever played the best A game. Alcorn showed up, but against Jackson State, they had only 12 points in the first half.
So Jackson State put Alcorn out, right? Men?
No, I'm talking about women.
Women. Oh, okay.
On the women's side.
I'm saying, who put Alcorn's men out?
Alabama A&M.
Okay, A&M put them out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, Alabama State didn't qualify for the tournament.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What kind of season did they have? That guy's been there, 2 years? How long's he been there?
Yeah, he's been there 2 years since Mo been.
Because he's supposed to be connected to Penny Hardaway. At one time, he was at University of Memphis or something. I think he was connected because I was thinking that that Bama State program might crank up.
All right, so what I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to drop a link in the chat. The first 20 people to click the link and register, I have a March Madness bracket pool. And basically, the guaranteed prize is $300, right? There's an entry fee for $5, but the first 20 people who click the link and go and fill out your brackets, there's no entry fee. The first 20 people, it's covered. So click the link. We're going to do a March Madness bracket for the women. Click the link, fill it out. A $300 prize pool guarantee, a $300 guaranteed prize pool. Somebody said they don't understand a Valley's new basketball arena. Everybody wants to be elevated. Listen, Valley getting ready to come into some money. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but Valley getting ready to get some of that Ayers funding because they weren't eligible at first, but now they are.
So that brother's name is Ivory that's at Valley. What's the men's coach's name?
George Ivory.
Yeah, he played for Coach Stripling. I remember him. I think he was at Pine Bluff one time, wasn't he?
Who was at Pine Bluff?
Wasn't Ivory at Pine Bluff?
I wouldn't know.
Look him up, Mr. I think Ivory was at Pine Bluff. Because he was on that 86 team that played Duke in the NCAA tournament. He was on that team.
Are you talking about George Ivory?
Yeah, I think George Ivory was once at Pine Bluff.
Let me see. No, it's working for me. Give me a second.
Okay. Hey, Doc, what's the word on?
I found George Ivory.
Okay, was he at Pine Bluff?
I'm going to pull it up for you.
Okay.
Let me see.
Hey, Doc, what are they saying about spring practice at Jackson? Everything looking good?
Yeah, everything looking great.
We can't tell you all of our secrets now. We got
asking good. I'm just saying, was everything looking good? You ain't telling no secrets. Ain't like you calling no plays.
We got something real big dropping in the next 48 to 72 hours. We just didn't want to say nothing right now because we're kind of like waiting a little bit.
Okay. When's your spring game?
April 6th.
Okay, April 6th. Okay.
For me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was your big news? Is ESPN gonna televise your spring game?
No, it's big. We got something shaking. It's baking. It's brewing, but I can't say anything because.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's top secret G14 classified.
So what y'all putting Jacoby and Morgan up for the Heisman?
I can't tell you. It's so G14 classified. I can't let this cat out the bag.
Jacoby for the Heisman. Give him the Heisman.
It'll probably be out about next week. So make sure you check back next.
Oh,
Thursday,
you know I will.
Wednesday, Mr. Ford, because it's.
In the meantime, Mr. Campbell, Florida A&M need to get that money up and bring Mike Davis to Tallahassee.
Oh Lord, who'd you get that from? You must be talking to some snakes over there in Atlanta, and that's.
When I saw he had been fired, I said, you know what? We need him back in the SWAC. And then I said, you know what? FAMU is where he needs to be. He needs to be at Florida A&M.
What about George Ivory? Why don't he go over there?
That's what we try. So, hey, Doc. So, Valley didn't release George Ivory, did they?
Nope.
It worked for me.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see today. Because see, you know what? When I was in the SWAC, Valley was winning men and women. They had to, when I was a student at Grambling, they had to, the lady, was it Hoskins? What was her name? Hoskins? She was big time.
I got Doc was able to access it. Lawrence, 18 more folks. Y'all just have to click the link. Y'all don't have to fill it out right now, but we got 18 more free spots for this $300 challenge for the women's. That's the top prize.
Hey, EA, you said LeBron wants his own people? So LeBron's going to pick the coach? What's that about?
Imagine LeBron picking the coach for FAMU.
What do you mean by LeBron wants his own people?
You know that's a LeBron school, allegedly.
You talking about FAM?
Mm-hmm.
So you think LeBron's going to pick the coach?
That's what they said.
Hey, look here. This is Stock Talk David. Go back and look at that man's resume. That guy's a champion, man.
Dang!
That guy dominated this.
1-31.
Yeah, but that was at Detroit Mercy. Look at when he was at Texas Southern. That guy basically dominated black college basketball.
Well, he ain't. Dang.
Yeah, listen. Go back and.
Why are you setting FAMU up for failure? Hiring a coach that was 1-31.
The guy's got a resume. He's a champion.
It's better than what FAMU had this past season.
This guy Mike Davis is a champion now. Listen, this guy played for the NCAA championship. I think he lost to Maryland. Wasn't it Maryland? Who did they lose to?
Doc.
What year?
I can't remember the year, but Indiana played Maryland, I think, for a national championship.
Oh, yeah. That was Juan Dixon.
Yeah, that's right. Juan Dixon. Yeah. One guy was named Wilcox.
Josh Wilcox. Yeah.
Yeah, that coach was named what? Gary
Williams.
Gary Williams. That was his name. He was the Maryland coach. Gary Williams.
So this is LeBron. His last meeting that he had with FAMU athletics, because because FAMU is a LeBron sponsored school, and he signed on, and then the basketball team for the men's team is trash. So this is what he was saying in that meeting regarding that not little, but the sponsorship that they had. How you gonna fix it? You done messed me up the jobless visit. I done called the police because I'm doing a refund. A refund is due unto me. Don't feel like I just been abused out here today. God ain't pleased with this. You can't do the Saints like this. Boy, I don't even know if I'm gonna sit out here till the police come. I'm gonna sit out here till the police come. I'm doing a refund. Because I'm doing one of me. LeBron said, damn, all these shoes I done sent y'all.
You man. I'm done.
Ooh, see, all them shoes I done sent y'all, all that branding, all those jerseys I done sent y'all, and that's how your basketball team does. That's what you do with that type of sponsorship. This is LeBron school. You're supposed to win in basketball. How you gonna fix it? You done messed me up the jobless visit. I done called the police because I'm doing a refund. A refund is due unto me. Don't feel like I just been abused out here today. God ain't pleased with it. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Hey, Doc, has FAMU ever beat Reggie Theus?
Not that I know of.
I don't think, because this is his second year, right?
Who?
Reggie Theus. Is this his second year?
No, this is his third or fourth year.
It's his third year?
Yeah, because Jordan's over there looking at his Howard sponsorship, and he likes what he got going on over there.
Yeah, they got something going on at Howard. That guy's won the MEAC now 2 years in a row.
The Howard's men's team has been.
Yeah, they doing it.
Them Jordans is getting they due.
Yeah, they are. You're right.
LeBron over there looking at FAMU like y'all supposed to be the highest of 7 hills.
Bring in Mike Davis, baby.
How you gonna fix it?
Bring in Mike Davis.
This is his third year at Bethune, and each year he's been at the school. Each season, he has improved the winning at the school.
You hear that, Mr. Campbell? You hear that, Mr. Campbell?
When he got to Bethune in 21, he went 9-21, but he was also 7-11 in the conference. And then in 22, he went last season. He went 12-20, and he went 8-10 in the conference. And then this season, he went 17-5, and he's 11-7 in the conference. We talk about a guy that actually, when he first started coaching. I mean, of course, when he was at Cal State Northridge, they really didn't give him didn't give him no help.
Right.
But when he was at New Mexico, he took a team that was god awful, and he won he won 16 games his first year, and then the second year he went 25-9 and was in the NCAA tournament. So what he's done as the head coach, he's doing a damn good job of it.
And he's the AD, right? Isn't he the AD?
He's the AD.
Right. I feel like all HBCU basketball teams need to schedule their conference exactly how Coach Tamika Reed does. Their out-of-conference setup needs to be similar. I think they should do the Pac-12 versus the SWAC again. They should do MEAC
There's
versus
no Pac-12.
I mean Pac-3.
In the Pac-2?
It ain't Pac nobody because Washington State and Oregon State went to the Mountain West.
Oh, okay.
Mountain West versus then do a Mountain West versus the SWAC.
You can do that.
You said Oregon.
How about the SWAC versus the Sun Belt?
You can do that too.
Basically what I'm saying, I don't know. I think Pac-12 scheduled us because they weren't scared, but then I don't know. Sometimes these they want to schedule it, sometimes they don't. They never, ever, rarely, if ever, come to the HBCUs, right?
Now, this season, Washington came to Alabama State because it was
Southern Cal.
That was
Yeah,
good.
and one year Notre Dame went to Howard.
So we need to get those, but they need to play. It needs to be more than just what I'm basically saying is when I say that the reason why you have Grambling and Howard, are they both have playing games?
Grambling and Howard has playing games in the NCAA tournament. Bethune-Cookman accepted an invitational bid to the CBI with Texas Southern, and that's it. So there's no SWAC team, there's no HBCU team in the NIT.
Right. Well, but we knew that. Then we knew that was coming.
So now
Grambling State is in the NIT. North Carolina
in North Carolina A&T.
Right. And North Carolina A&T is in the WNIT. But if you're looking at the SWAC, who outside of Grambling, or no, I'm sorry, who on the men's side was gonna go
to the NIT?
Right.
Nobody. Just they didn't have the after that they won't even look at us to go into that tournament. So they made it to where it wasn't really going to be no SWAC team or BAC team in the NIT. Which is, I think that was crazy, but to each his own.
People over talking about it's a win.
Okay, so Mr. Lawrence said Texas Southern and Norfolk State in the CIT, and then Delaware State and Bethune-Cookman in the CBI. There's some representation right there too.
Yeah,
and that means that they get to continue to play basketball. The only problem with that is that they're going to be on the road because remember, it's just like if you was playing in the NCAA, like the FCS playoffs, where you got to put a bid in if you want to host you know what I'm saying? If you want to host a game, they ain't trying to do that.
Listen, how did Mo Williams fare against Reggie Theus this year? Did he beat them every time?
We beat them by 1 at home. That was a very.
And then
you swept them and did you beat them in Daytona?
We lost in that sweat box.
Yeah.
So it's 1-1. So they split. Okay.
So now I can see why they historically want for HBCUs to lose early on in the March Madness game. Like the amount of money that you make winning is absolutely ridiculous.
And they don't want you to make more.
That's the reason why back in the day, a school like Hampton and Norfolk State, when Norfolk State
remember Coppin
State, even Southern way back in the day, back in the 80s with Avery Johnson, they beat some teams like that, man.
They beat Georgia Tech one year too.
They beat them teams like that. They don't want to pay them kids.
No, man,
like
they don't.
They don't want them to play like that. And it was funny because I remember when Mississippi Valley played Georgetown with Allen Iverson. I think that was his second, Iverson's second year at Georgetown.
Do you get paid for the playing game?
Yeah.
So if you win $2 million.
Yeah, it's a tournament game.
Are you sure?
Yes. It's the play the playing game is considered a first round game. So let's say
estimated $220 million. So it clears as to why they always have us at the lower seed. They always pit us because this little switch around that they did was weird. Very weird.
Well, I don't know. But
$4 million for each team? Damn. I mean, they usually take the money and they usually take the money and then they kind of like split it amongst.
So it's the thing about it. Like when you play the game because it's a first round game, it's considered a first round
only
game.
the games you win, though, right? People keep on saying you get paid every game you play.
It's the only game that you win. So I had just
game you win, not just play. You got to win it.
No, you play too. You're still playing. It's not just you win it. You still playing it. But
no, I'm saying, do you get $2 million for winning or just playing?
Playing.
So basically, what you're saying is that Norfolk State and Jackson State is getting $2 million off the rip.
Well, I don't know about on the women's side, but I know on the men's side, Norfolk State about to get $2 million off the rip because they're playing in their playing game. But
Gramblin's getting ready to get $2 million.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? They're gonna get this is why I talked to Coach Pittman.
Grambling keeping all that money. Usually they
keep the money.
So usually the bigger schools, they usually split it amongst the conference. But for the smaller schools, Women's March Madness payout starts next year. Are you effing kidding me? Women's March Madness doesn't have a payout?
No. So what they do is the way that they
you have got to be effing kidding me.
So how they compensate it is like they pay to get the team out there, they pay for the band, they pay for the cheerleaders, they pay for all the coaches and the administration, any type of person on the administration to get to pay in the tournament. Then you get a per diem. So
I would sue the NCAA for
can't sue it.
$700 million.
Can't sue it.
I would sue them for $700 million.
Can't sue it. They're gonna look at it like because the women's game traditionally is not as big as the men's game if you really think about it. Like when did the women's game start really getting big was in the 90s, and when you got schools like Texas Tech, North Carolina.
There's no way that modern day 2024 women aren't getting some sort of payout. No, we're not talking about $2 million, but fuck, 250,000, 500,000. Like, what? Where the F is the money? Where's the money? Where's my money?
They don't make the money like that. That's the reason why most of this.
It doesn't matter. The same way the NBA supplements the WNBA, and the same way that all other sports supplement sports non earning.
No, they supplement it, but they want the WNBA to grow on their own.
It doesn't make any money. They have just as much. They have viewership. They have
viewership. But when did the women's game? The question is, when did the women's game get to where it is now? We talking about in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, all the way up till now.
What's that, about 30 years? And they ain't
30 years.
figured out how to get
and they've been doing it for the longest, just like that. Because to the women, it's all about the sport. In the men's game, it's about
ours is about the money and the sport.
Not back then. It was all about the sport.
It's always gonna be all about the money.
But that's the reason why you see all these teams, the top 16 teams get to play at home. They make the money. So the money goes back. I'll be telling
them run me my check.
They're gonna look at you retarded.
Run me my check ASAP.
But it's the hottest that it's been now, but they never been able to play. They never been able to pay. That's the reason why you can say the NBA supplements the WNBA, but they want them to make their own.
Doc, it's literally $1 billion business for the month of March. They could have found $100 million.
For who? The women's game or the men's game?
The split up against. They could have found 100. They could have found 50 million. They could have found $65 million.
For the women's game,
yes, they can find 60. If it's a 2.2
it ain't no $1 billion for the women. The men's, yes. The women's,
yes, right. It's a $2.2 billion for the men, right? They could have found $65 million from advertisers, from whatever. They could have found 65 million to give for the women. Like I am discombobulated hearing that. And I think that's another story for another day, but I'm pissed. There was a 64% increase in viewership in women's basketball just in the last year and a half. So
2 years, right?
Ain't no way that I would like. I mean, I guess they're taking baby steps or they're ain't no way I would be. It's nothing. $100 million to these advertisers, to the sports betting sites, to Vegas. They could have came up with $100 million to give away. So that's all I'm gonna say. They could.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the NCAA. Is
65 millions is like
the NCAA ain't nothing but gangsters in suits. That's what they are. That's all they are. Gangsters in suits. That's it. So it's laughable, but shoot, they've been doing it for the women's side. Been doing it for about 40 years, and nobody hadn't said anything about it. But so that's something that that is something that we could you could talk about, but like it's been going on for almost 40 since the NCAA has taken over women's college basketball back in the early 80s.
Yeah,
they've been doing it for this long and nobody hasn't said anything about it.
Maybe they all wanted to keep their job. When's your next show, Doc?
Probably tomorrow. I just did it earlier, and we was, I actually streamed the selection show. So I like our chances. I like the possibility of us going up to Storrs, Connecticut. To go beat the mighty UConn Huskies, but I ain't gonna say no but, because when I got the word from Liv, and shout out to her, when she told me what happened, what with UConn, what's going on with them, I was like, oh, this changes. The whole dynamic is changing a lot now. So we shall see. And
They already released the lines. Grambling State is underdog by only 3.5 points. Howard is a favorite. Howard is favored by 2.5 points versus Wagner.
Right.
I'm gonna take Howard. I'm gonna take Grambling money line. How much that pay? Who you think gonna win between? Why do the 10s have to do playing games?
Because now it used to be 60. It used to be the first two teams, and then that team would actually go play the 16, the first seed as the 16 seed.
Women's basketball is playing with me because they're not even letting us bet on women's basketball. I'm like, what is going on? Okay, so let's see how much that pays. But anyway, Wagner only has 7 active. What is up with these teams that don't have no players?
Attrition.
That's why I said you like when it comes to basketball, you just got to go with what you got.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
People get hurt. That's a part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got 4. So I'll be running that March Madness pool all week. Make sure that you sign up. I'm going to drop the link one more time before I leave. The first 20 players, go ahead and get on in there. We're doing a $300 guaranteed prize pool. Yeah, so click that link and register. I'm going to be promoting it all week long. I want to get at least 50 to 100 people. It's for the women's bracket. You think I should do one for the men's bracket too?
I think so. It'd be fun.
That would be fun.
That would be fun because I'd just be looking to see how many people be pissed off just because their bracket got busted in the first week of the first weekend of the tournament.
That's because how you gonna? It's hard to pick. It's really hard.
Now it is because
too many upsets. They could just go in either way.
It's what Dr. McClellan said earlier in the interview. It's a lot of parity in men's college basketball right now. So that's why
didn't they knock off Purdue? Didn't North Carolina State knock off Duke?
Yeah, they knocked out Duke and gave.
When you said they knocked them out, you talking about in their championship, right?
In their conference tournament.
Yeah.
But they still get to go to the turn. The
oh yeah, they still get to. Didn't Iowa State knock off Houston?
Oh, beat the brakes off of them yesterday.
Beat the brakes out of them.
No, shoot. What you say? Knock the sonic rings out of them. That's what happened. That's what they did. It was yesterday.
Oh,
but they still got a #1 seed because of their overall body of work, and then being in the Big 12.
They still got a #1 seed.
Yeah, they knew their seed was going. They're gonna get a #1 seed regardless.
Oh, they just knew their stuff was solidified.
That's why I was like, when I was talking to the coach earlier, I'm like, it's crazy. Like, that the team is gonna, when the team get handled like that, they know, like, okay, well, our seed is solidified. So
that Big 12 is the best basketball. That men's Big 12 is the best basketball in the country.
Mm-hmm.
That Big 12, they got the best basketball conference for men.
I think they might get like what 6 or 7 bids in the tournament.
Yeah, they probably the last 10 or 15 years, the best basketball has been in that Big 12. Because usually Kansas is dominant out of that Big 12.
EA said that the MEAC can bring in $4 million in 1 week from Howard and split it among only 7 teams. Everybody that thinks that FAMU should go back to the MEAC and make the 8-team type I in the chat.
Mr. Mona, could you repeat that? What'd you say?
I said, EA said that the MEAC can bring in $4 million in 1 week from Howard and split it among only 7 teams. And so I said, if you think that FAMU should go back to the MEAC and make the 8th team, type I in the chat.
FAMU ain't even thinking about the MEAC. You think FAMU misses the MEAC? No, they don't.
I'm just kidding, Mr. Ford.
You know they don't miss the MEAC. That was a 40-year mistake. They should have never joined the MEAC.
It's a joke, Mr. Ford. Don't go in on me too hard.
I'm just saying, one thing FAMU's they're not missing the MEAC. You can bet that.
So if you bet Howard -2.5 and Grambling money line to beat Montana State, for $50, you can win $233. That's not too bad.
That's not a bad bet at all.
Nope. But anyway, I gotta get to the FUBU Rattlers. Ooh, they're not FUBU Rattlers. They're sponsored by LeBron.
Mr. Campbell is giving a correction to y'all.
He's giving a correction to EA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's what he said right here.
He said it's only 368,000. See, that's why they be having folks fooled. Look at Mr. Haynes. Mr. Haynes. Go ahead.
So what was your thought about where we were going to be seated?
So yesterday, when I was on live for like the after party, we had a time. A time was had. Okay, I was pouring it up. I was drinking, Mr. Ford. I had some Don Julio.
Well, we drinking champagne.
Yeah, we're the SWAC champs. I was celebrating.
Oh yeah.
So I had me some
you
Don
pop
Julio.
champagne. So you pop a champagne bottle or crown bottle? Oh, Don Julio.
Reposado. Yeah.
Run that to Texas.
Yeah, I had a little Don Julio with a little lemon juice and lemonade. Okay, but what I said was when I looked at the bracket, I was like, dang, I don't think Jackson State is a 15 seed. But at that point, we were, it was guessing that we were going to play LSU. But I was like, if we move up to a 14 seed, we have to play UConn. And I said, I don't want to play UConn. So let's try to go to 13 seed. At the time when I looked at 13 seed, they had California Baptist as the 13 seed.
Yeah.
To go against Gonzaga. And I was like, okay.
I would have took that matchup.
Yeah, I want to take that matchup because and then I looked at California Baptist at their net rankings. It was only like 120. So I was like, oh, okay, we can steal their spot. But they did exactly what I thought they would do, which was...
I think what happened was when Rice won the tournament for them. Was a conference, I think they're Conference USA. I'm thinking, I'm on my live and I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I'm like, all right, so one bracket gone down. I mean, one pod is gone down. So let's look at the next one. And so when I seen LSU, I was like, okay, I would rather play LSU because I think we do match up well against them. But like I said, when they said Rice, I was like, well, maybe they don't want to have a rematch because that was 2 years ago when we played them, right?
Stony Brook lost to Drexel?
Yeah, Drexel stole a bid, so that's the reason why we kind of moved up to 14.
Damn, I was saying that North Carolina A&T needed to beat Stony Brook.
They could have beat Stony Brook.
We didn't steal a bid though.
No, Drexel stole the bid.
Oh, they stole Stony Brook's bid, and that would have pushed them down because they're literally 7th in their conference. They were 6th. Oh, okay.
And then that elevated us from being a 15 seed to going up to a 14 seed now. So it's you kind of that's why I'm like, there's going to be teams that's going to steal bids. There's going to be locked in. That's why I was like, I knew we're not going to be no 15 seed, and I knew we're not going to be no 16 seed because I would have cussed everybody out on my live for being a 15 seed. Well, they moved us to a 14 seed. Like I was looking at it, like you said, I was thinking like, okay, let's play LSU. But then again, we played them 2 years ago. Right. So I feel like they said they didn't want a rematch or something like that. But then it's also for us, it's close proximity from Jackson to Baton Rouge. A 2-hour drive. So but getting the UConn, the UConn bid, it's like, okay, I said I didn't want to play them, but then when we all got the news about their team as a whole,
right?
Liv, right? Liv. Yeah, Liv. She sent you some stuff. Did she hit you up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because she hit me up. She's like, just for you to know. I was like, oh, now this changed the whole dynamic of the game. This changes the whole dynamic of the game.
They said UConn is actually a better matchup for JSU than LSU.
LSU. I still would have said LSU, but I mean,
I'm now that I heard this, that the 6'6" player is out allegedly for this particular game, and Angel Jackson is 6'6", right? So I was matching up player to player, and so I was like, oh, okay, their next tallest player. I want to say it's like 6'5". So now we'll have Layla Walker and Angel Jackson both with the height, right? Because when you're in those types of matchups against Power 5 teams, PWIs, the height is usually something that it's either eliminated or it's equal. Like it's it's either you're at a disadvantage because they have height, or they eliminate it with their bigs.
Right. And then when I was looking at it also, I was thinking Norfolk State could have got a 14 seed too. But
I think because okay, and this was no shade to any of the teams. Like I said, for HBCUs, you have a certain pathway to get seeded higher than 16, and that is undefeated in your conference, strong out of conference schedule with a couple of them being wins, and then you're able to do that. And so that's why I said that everybody who needs to mimic, because Coach Reed purposely schedules these types of games specifically so that she can prepare for and have the net ranking that she needs to be able to be seeded as a 14 seed.
Right.
So you have to basically mimic the out of conference schedule that Coach Reed has. You have to get a couple of wins, and you have to be undefeated in your conference, in the HBCU conference. And then I have no doubt that they would have absolutely seeded these teams higher than 16 seeds. But it's just that you have to be undefeated in your division.
So
Edwards is the one with the broken nose, right?
Yeah, with the concussion.
No. Oh, she has a concussion. I thought they said she'll play, but she has a broken nose.
Yeah, but she's still you break your nose, you still gonna get concussion. She's on protocol, so they gotta see how
she's
she
still
goes.
on protocol.
Yeah.
Well, they have like yeah. So.
But yeah, I would rather I once I looked at it, I was like,
it might be a blessing in disguise. I don't want to get myself overhyped. That's my thing. I don't want to hype myself up to get like overly. I'm very, very excited. I'm just like, where do I get my credentials at? How do I get credentials? I want to go to this game. Like, I'm trying to figure it out right now. How do I leave on Friday or Thursday? I'm trying to schedule it right now. I'm like, oh my God, I am ready to be there with all my Jackson State gear on. All those white people. Well, gosh, there's a lot of Jackson State people here. Because Jackson State is deep in the northeast area too. Got folks all over. What happened?
No, I was just saying, yeah, it's still a great day to be a Tiger.
It's absolutely a great day to be a Jackson State Tiger, a Grambling Tiger, a Norfolk Spartan, a Howard Bison, a Wildcat, a Bethune-Cookman Wildcat.
Texas Southern Third Ward Tiger. Like it's a great day. We are well represented in all these tournaments.
A Gremlin State Tigerette going to the WNIT. Okay, it's a great day.
Yep. So, well, I think you said the game is on Friday.
What happened?
You said the game is on Friday, right?
It could be Friday or Saturday. They'll probably drop the actual time and date by the times. They'll probably actually drop them.
They'll probably drop it late tonight or tomorrow. Right. But yeah, I'm just this time of year, I'm ready to see Duke lose as always. I'm ready to see Kansas get put out of the first round.
Oh, I think they said North Carolina A&T is going as well to the WNIT.
Yeah, North Carolina A&T and Lady Aggies. So yeah, it's a great day for HBCU programs. Yeah. But that's crazy. I'm gonna tell you this is one thing, but then I'm gonna roll up out of here. The craziest thing is that Norfolk State goes to the West Coast. They draw Stanford. They had to fly to East Palo Alto from Norfolk, Virginia to East Palo Alto and crossed over 3 time zones.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be tired.
Mm-hmm.
They got the short end of the stick on that one right there.
That's business as usual, isn't it?
Pretty much. But I would think, like, dang, you want to keep Norfolk, like, if you give them 15 seed, at least keep them in the East, you know.
I think y'all already said one of the things they don't want is for them to make any money. Get them in and get them out as soon as you can.
But somebody gonna get up. It's gonna be some upsets this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be some upsets this weekend on both sides, on men and women. But y'all have a good one.
All right, Mr. Ford.
Yes.
Be on the lookout for that breaking news. It's coming soon.
And hopefully Mike Davis goes to Florida A&M as head basketball coach.
Yes, if he has a 1-31 record like the person in the chat says that he did, please, hopefully he does go there.
Yeah, go to Florida A&M. I'm
gonna give a shout out to Langston University men's basketball. They did make it to Kansas City, Mr. Ford.
Oh, okay.
The Sweet 16.
Right.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. And Fayetteville State is in the 3rd round of the D2 playoffs also.
That's men or women?
I think men.
Men. Okay.
So yeah, I appreciate all of them for doing what they do. I think with Langston, I think they got a chance to win the NAIA title.
Oh, that was big.
He said Fayetteville women is in the 3rd round.
Oh, it's with Fayetteville women. Okay.
But with Coach Wright over at Langston, he doing a damn good job. Good job.
You think we could get him in the SWAC?
Man, I asked him that question. I want him in the SWAC.
Oh, yeah.
Who he'll go to, though, that'll be the question.
Right. Yeah.
Or we'll just say, can we trade, put Langston back in the SWAC and take FAMU out?
Oh, never. Never, baby.
All right, well, y'all have a good night. And be on the lookout for that breaking news. It's coming soon.
Peace out.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.